Today is March 30th, and I'm working from home today, which isn't necessarily that weird because I do work from home from time to time. But the thing was, I worked from home yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. What's happening right now is that Coffee Stain, like many other companies, are practicing self-isolation. So they've asked most of us to stay at home to mitigate the spread of COVID-19, which was declared as a pandemic by World Health Organization a few days back. I originally had another video planned for today, but it didn't feel right because it involved a bit of traveling and I didn't want to do that. Didn't feel right. So instead, I'm going to take this opportunity to vlog a bit and show you kind of how my days have looked like since this pandemic or whatnot. Let me show you what my days have looked like recently. That was a lot faster than my regular 2-hour commute. So the way I usually start off my days is by checking DMs, checking email, doing the rounds, so to speak, of messages that I've received, of things that I have to look into. And since I'm doing community management stuff, I check like Instagram and I check Discord and those type of things as well. So in the morning, we also tend to have our programming stand-ups where we kind of like talk about what we do and what we're gonna do during the day, if we have any problems, so that people can like catch up on like what everybody else is doing. All right, I'm about to jump into a conference call with my programmer colleagues. Do our morning stand-ups that we usually do.
And also looking at what some of you said yesterday that we wanted to try to fix before Steam, and added that to our list so we can keep track of.
So today I'm either gonna keep working on the net serialization or the serialization for the construct messages for client in build modes, or I'm gonna fix that bug with sometimes you don't get materials back when you dismantle. And the thing about stand-ups is that they tend to drag out. This has been the thing at every company I worked at, where morning stand-up meetings like that tend to drag out for way too long. A lot of people are just like not interested in what's going on. They're too deep discussions, yada yada yada. And you know, they're called stand-ups because you were supposed to physically stand up so you get tired of the meeting. So what we try to do at Coffee Stain is we try to do lightning rounds when we have the meeting, so you only say like really what you're doing and what you're working on. And if you want to discuss something on the meeting, you bring it up in a sub-meeting that happens right after the stand-up. So typically these meetings are at locale, like at Coffee Stain. But since we're working from home, everybody, we have these big ass fucking conference calls on Microsoft Teams. And yes, we're using Microsoft Teams. I miss Slack.
That's it.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Bye, guys.
Good luck, everybody. Bye. So I do like 90% of my work on my laptop, which might sound weird. Like I don't even have the project installed on this computer anymore. And it might sound weird that I use a laptop for working because we do use Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine is really taxing when it comes to games of this size. You need a lot of RAM, you need a lot of processing power. And another thing is that we're also extending Unreal Engine, which is also quite hefty because that means we also need to be able to compile the engine, which, you know, can take quite some time. At work, we're using a distributed compile system, so you can run multiple compilations at the same time and then like collect them back up into the machine that distributed them. So, you know, compiling the engine can take like 5 to 10 minutes or something like that at work. But when I'm at home, it can take up to an hour. But luckily, I don't really have to do it that often. And if you're smart about it and plan ahead, you can set it up so that it compiles engine during night or when you're not working or whatever. Same thing goes like when you're collecting big assets and you need to run shader compilations and stuff like that. Because when you're not at work, you also don't get access to the
the localized data asset, blah, 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 whatever it's called. But even if I don't have access to the distribution system, which makes compiling much faster and all that, like, good that you get when you're at work, I really enjoy working from home. It's really nice. I can do things at my own pace. I don't get disturbed as much. I can take my time with answering. Like if somebody wants something, I can deduce if it's important or not, if I can like skip what I'm working on to help them. It's also really quiet at home. I like that. I like quiet places. It's also the fact that like I am insanely introverted. So not having to go out, staying in my cozy little corner, just hacking along, like that's my jam. It's just that I can focus so much better at home than I can at work. Not because like you get disturbed or whatever, just like I'm in my element, right? I also have a pretty hefty commute. Like it takes me 2 hours to get to the office every day. And while I do work on the train on the way, it's still this element where you still have to like catch the train, you have to find a good seat and all that stuff. So there are all these like different small things that kind of like takes me out of it. Like if you're in the middle of debugging something, it can be really distracting to have to like realize that, oh shit, I have to pack up my shit and like get off this dumbass train and whatnot. Now I will say this, I do miss the train rides a bit because the vista when you're on the train is really cool. The fact that you can just look outside the window and you just see this cool scenery and it's moving, that's also pretty cool. You don't really get that when you're in an office or when you're working from home. But at least working from home, it's kind of bright, especially now that like the sun is kind of creeping out and the spring is like trying to tease you. Spring in Sweden is deceivingly late. You think that like, oh, spring is about to come and just bam, fucking snow in the middle of March, like it happened the other day. It's just, ugh.
Doing the Norwegian thing and getting sandwiches for lunch.
I love how now that we're social distancing and whatnot, there's been amazing weather outside. It's unbelievable. I wonder if there's like something I can do where I can go out where I don't have to like interact with anyone. Yo, we getting clean for tonight, yo, brah. So I've seen online a lot of people have been posting all these like tips on how to work from home. So I thought I'd do the same thing and tell you what I think is the most important lessons that I learned from working from home before this even happened, because I'm a pro at this point. So I think the most important lesson that I learned was to find a rhythm with it. And what I mean by that is that you have to really take work time as work time and home time as home time. So an easy thing to do when you start working from home is you sleep in a bit more, you know, you clean a bit, you might run an errand, and that's all fine, but it can easily be the way where that takes over your workday. So you tend to like have to catch up on hours, which means that you work later, and that leads to just, it feels like you're working the whole day. I really want to get my work hours done so that like at 5 or 6 or whatever time, I'll be like, all right, work's done, switch off. Another tip that I have that I haven't seen that much that I think is really important is having a good mic. So like chatting with people can only take you so far. There are certain things you can only really do orally. So I think a lot of people tend to not want to do voice calls because it's so hard to hear what the other person is saying if they're using this shitty fucking headset mic that they got when they bought their phone and stuff like that. Having a good mic really makes it easier for people to communicate and hear what they're saying. So I think it's really important to have a good mic so that people won't be discouraged to talk to you and make it easier for them to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, you haven't even seen like it's just like the nice chair here and I've got some company.
Oh yeah, shit, you have arachnophobia mode on.
There's a spider.
And lastly, one of the most important things to me, I think, when you're working from home is to have a fast response time. When you're at the office, you can just shout at them like, hey, fuckhead, did you get that thing I sent you? But when you're working remotely, it's not the same thing, just typing in chat. Like, it can take like 20 minutes to get a response sometimes. And it kind of depends on what you're doing, I guess. But sometimes if I get stuck on something and I need help from someone, like me having to wait 20 minutes can be quite detrimental, especially if I have to do that all throughout my day. So I think having a fast response time is quite important. In the end, I think it's important to over communicate when you're not physically there in the same building.
Hello. What's up, dude?
What up?
What up, what up? Alright, so how you doing, man? How you pull through?
I still don't know, like, it's hard to say. I mean, most of the joke is that, you know, everyone still works from home, you know, for us it's no difference because we always work alone. But then, I mean, the people I'm working with, most of them are also working from home anyways, or, you know, isolated, whatever.
Yeah.
So right now I don't really know. But I mean, there's so much, there's so much musicians in the studio that pass by, and a lot of those are having a really hard time, like canceled gigs and everything. So at least people are evaluating and trying new stuff also. I was in a hangout meeting with like some game audio peeps from the US, like, I'm gonna grab lunch, like, hang out with me because I'm alone. And then, you know, people from all over the world kind of just went in there. So I mean, the joke, I don't know, for me it's so weird because it's like I've never known what's gonna happen in 2 weeks, like the last 10 years. So like now everyone else can try it out.
So we've seen like spikes all around where people are like reporting more and more people are playing games.
Yeah, I hope it could benefit the indies though. It would be nice if people play more indie games. I mean, a funny topic of that is that actually the listening went down. Like people stopped listening to music a bit.
Really?
So like, yeah, it's weird. Like apparently the theories were either they listen to like news, you know, they want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And you know, the daily commute is gone. So usually, you know, you would listen to music when you're traveling to work, whatever. So it kind of went down a bit. So they could see it all over the streaming platforms. So, and I guess, you know, Netflix and all these, they do that instead, kind of, or something like that.
Well, thanks for talking to you.
That's pretty.
Hopefully we'll see each other soon enough in real life.
Hopefully. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
But you take care and stay healthy.
You too.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.
So I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. All right, cool. Make sure to stay safe. If you work with any type of healthcare right now, you're an absolute hero. And we will see each other soon enough. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I have to say that because I'm on YouTube. And yeah, take care of each other, and bye-bye.